Can we please talk about the fact that you have to remortgage your house to buy a pack of mini eggs in Tesco's nowadays?
It comes to $11,965 in bills that my partner and I have per month.
Guys, honestly, I'm done with adulthood. I'm actually done with adulthood. Earlier today, I paid my rent, which is 1.2k. Okay? That already hurt my heart.
Guys, welcome back. Hope you're all well. I'm from Revoluxtok. Today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, which is the cost of living crisis, inflation, and really how it's affecting a lot of people and making them feel. We'll be looking at how rising costs, whether that's bills or utility bills, is affecting people, and how some people's outgoings look like in this very difficult economy that we're in. Let's unpack it, break it all down, and just see what's happening out there. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe, drop a comment, and let me know how you're coping in the situation. Anyway, let's get into it.
I just did an updated monthly budget, so per month what we have to pay in bills, and it comes to $11,965 in bills that my partner and I have per month, and that is not including any groceries, any petrol, or any leisure activities, and that is not including making provision for future bills, for example, obviously electricity or something. $12,000 before those things. The fact that we have to come up with this amount of money each month just to pay our immediate bills before we even pay anything else. I have like crippling anxiety because this is just like so full on.
Wow, that's nearly $12,000 a month in bills for two people, and that's before food, fuel, or even going out for a coffee. I mean, you could hear the stress in her voice, and honestly, it's understandable. I mean, the cost of living has definitely reached a point where people aren't living anymore. I mean, they're just surviving, in my opinion. I mean, here's the thing, I don't think people are alone. This is a worldwide problem, not just here in the UK, but abroad, everywhere. And it's definitely more important than ever that, you question every purchase that you make. I think you've got to ask yourself the question, is every purchase that you're making essential? Can you pause it? Can you negotiate it? If you can, definitely make those little changes, and slowly but surely things would improve for your situation, and hopefully she can do the same as well. And $12,000 a month is a lot. I mean, she must be on a very high annual income, but to spend that kind of money a month before other costs just seems a little bit crazy.
What the heck is going on with the food prices? I just did a Tesco shop that came to £95, bearing in mind that I did have to get toothpaste and toilet roll. But that was like for two people, for me and my son, and I do a budget very, very carefully. I did actually have to add on extra because of the price it was coming to. So I budget very carefully and do £10 for suppers and breakfast, £10 for fruits and veg, £10 for snacks, etc. And I meal plan out every little single thing, how much meals can a packet of sausages stretches. I got £70 for a week for two people, and I was just where is this going to be come Christmas time? And I tend to stick to Tesco's because I wanted to save up the points and the vouchers and stuff come Christmas time. But I got £70 and I was just I don't know where this is going to end up come Christmas time. So I did go and add a couple of Christmas items on, stuffing and drinks and snacks and stuff for Christmas to put them away, because I need to start now. With the way prices are going, I don't know, is it just me? Am I being crazy? Or does anybody else think that the prices are absolutely ridiculous?
Well, this one definitely stuck out with me. £70 a week on groceries. I mean, you can hear the level of planning that she's making, the effort that she's making here, stretching out every single penny. I mean, down to squeezing meals out of a pack of sausages. That's not really overspending. That's survival really on the spreadsheet. And honestly, I mean, my thoughts are no, she's not crazy. Prices have become ridiculous. I've certainly noticed it in the supermarkets myself. People used to budget to save, but now they're just really budgeting to cope, in my opinion. It says a lot when you're already thinking about Christmas in the middle of the year, just to sort of stay ahead of the curve. So she's probably in a bad place. But this isn't bad money management. This is smart planning in a very broken system, in my opinion. If you're watching this and you can relate to it, let me know how you're making your budget sort of stretch. Drop a comment below.
Manchester into London. So people always say London is expensive, but I don't think I clocked how expensive they meant when they said expensive. I'm currently staying with my boyfriend's family in the south of England in Winchester. Now it takes about an hour on the train to get from Winchester into London where I'm working. Individual train tickets are quite expensive, but I was like, oh, I'll buy a monthly pass. A monthly pass basically means for the next 30 days I can catch the train from Winchester to London whenever I want. I can get on any train, I can go unlimited amount of times, right? So it's good value. I want you to have a think. 1 hour train ride, how much would you expect that to cost? I'll wait. For 1 month, 30 days of travel to be able to go to and from London, it was £645. That's like 1,340 AUD. I may as well be paying rent at that point. Like, sorry, is that not insane? Anyway, this Aperol Spritz also cost £12.50. That's $26. I honestly ought not to leave the house.
Yeah, this one really brings it home, I think. Just sort of, the hidden costs of commuting. They're quite high wherever you go. She's spending £645 for a monthly train pass just to get from Winchester to London, and that's crazy. That's just the cost of her getting to work. That's the equivalent of rent in certain parts of the UK, and that's very expensive. We're not even talking about central London here, and rent in central London could cost into the thousands, I imagine. It's just kind of wild, I think, how traveling to your job eats up that kind of money, and the sort of money that people associate with paying rent in certain parts of the UK. When she talks about how her drink cost her £12.50, I mean, that's expensive. That's like financial whiplash. But yeah, it's no wonder I think people feel trapped between working to survive and spending just to get to work. Yes, it's kind of crazy. I mean, how much are you guys spending just to get to work each month? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about this.
I'm finding the cost of living really hard, and I kind of want to get your opinion on it as well. My husband earns £2,715 a month, and I earn £1,510 a month. We also get an amount in DLA as well because my daughter is autistic. But I do feel like the cost of living at the moment is really, really difficult, and I don't actually know if I'm spending right, like whether I should be actually having £100 left over at the month, or whether I should just be enjoying my life and just spending when I want to spend. For instance, at the weekend, I spent £113. One of those was a McDonald's, one was Costa, and one was some new joggers from Next, and they are the big purchases that I spent at the weekend. But that means that in our entertainment money, on our disposable income, we now have less for the next 2 weeks until I get paid again. So I just don't know where this money is meant to be going, like how I'm meant to be spending this money, how I'm not meant to be spending this money. Also, there's also a bit of panic in the back of my mind, like when we get an email from school saying, hey, there's this thing to pay for, there's that thing to pay for, there's this thing to buy as well, because that is really tough as well. I'm just finding it really hard to know, do I want to live and enjoy my life and spend my money, or do I want to make sure that I'm saving shed loads, and if I have money left over from our disposable income, then great, that's fantastic. I'm just finding it a little bit confusing and really hard, and just wondering if anybody else is in the same boat. Bearing in mind as well, we are paying money to family. We pay out £150 to family every month of money that we owe because we are in debt to them. So yeah, maybe I ought to go through my finances and show you guys what I have.
Yeah, I mean, I think this video really does sort of sum up how a lot of families are feeling right now and what they're going through. And you're doing your best, working, budgeting, providing for your kids, your partners, but it all feels like there's never really enough, really, and every decision about money comes with guilt or second guessing the decisions that you're making. I mean, she spent £130 over a weekend. That's not that crazy really, but you know, she spent it on Costa, I think she said, McDonald's and a pair of joggers, and it just shows how basic things can quite quickly eat into whatever little disposable income that you have really. Of course, having unexpected costs that you mentioned, unexpected school payments could quite easily throw her whole budget out the window. You know, she looked quite anxious when she was saying that. You know, it's a little bit like financial Jenga. You know, if one piece goes missing, then the whole stack sort of wobbles and collapses. You know, just like people's budgets can. It'd be interesting to see if anyone's had a similar sort of experience here. Really, I mean, how do you guys? Drop a comment below.
Yeah, guys, honestly, I'm done with adulthood. I'm actually done with adulthood. Earlier today, I paid my rent, which is 1.2k. Okay, that already hurt my heart. Now, I was coming back into my house a bit ago, and I was like, you know what, let me check my letterbox, because you know what, it was my birthday recently, and you know what, I was being delusional for a second, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll have a birthday card in there. Apparently, we don't do that anymore in this generation. You know, a text is all we get. But then I picked up some of my letters. I have another bill. The water bill is £168. Great. I thought, okay, you know, I can take that. Now, tell me why the electricity bill, or I think this is the electricity and gas. Guys, honestly, I don't even know how it works. Who let me live by myself? £1,843.22. How? I am one person living by myself. Half the time I'm not even home. But I don't understand, because here they've broken down my electricity usage and it's £229. Now, I don't know if the rest of it is meant to be the gas, but I'm gonna call them tomorrow, because the water bill, I can accept that. Like, okay, that sounds realistic. For 6 months, that's not even bad. This one, honestly, scrap everything I said about being independent. I'm done. I don't want to be independent. Do you know what? You want 6 meals a day? I'll give it to you. I'm tired. What is this? How am I supposed to afford to breathe?
Yeah, I think this video really captures the rude awakening that so many young adults are experiencing in this day and age. When you move out for the first time, you've got to deal with the rent, your utility bills, unexpected costs, you know, all hitting at once. It's you can leave you feeling quite confused. You know, how you spend thousands just to exist. It's not just the cost. I think with this, I think it's the confusion she had. She didn't quite understand how her utility costs were so expensive. You know, so I think a lot of people aren't really taught how to understand or challenge their utility bills, or track usage, or even what to look for. I think if you're living alone, you have to get familiar with meter readings, energy tariffs, billing cycles, who to contact if you don't quite understand your bill, if your bills don't make any sense. You know, you should definitely question it. You know, and hopefully she will. You know, hopefully she won't pay such a large bill. I mean, if any of you guys have received a big bill like that, how have you guys dealt with it? Again, if you guys want to, please drop a comment below.
My monthly outgoings were £8,000 this month. £8,000. I feel so vulnerable coming on here and saying this, because I actually don't know where that £8,000 manages to come from. Like, I managed to make it work every month, but oh my gosh, my monthly outgoings at the moment are ridiculous. All fairness, not to try and excuse myself, we did go away last month, and we always use an Amex card to pay for like things month to month, and then we pay off the card at the end of each month. I don't know if it makes me the best though in terms of budgeting, because obviously those cards have like a huge spending limit and it's just like tap, tap, tap. I am literally currently sat looking at a spreadsheet, spending my lunch looking at how we can reduce our spending, because things have just seemed to have spiraled, and obviously cost of stuff with it being the new financial year is going up very quickly as well. I actually love watching money accounts on here, and I've kind of spoke recently about how I have always kind of not struggled with my finances, but made very poor decisions and been put in some difficult positions with my finances. in the previous years, which I'm still bearing the brunt of now, to be totally honest. And I'm hoping this time next year, after the wedding and everything else, that we're going to be in a very different financial position. But yeah, I don't really know the point of this, other than I just think it's good to come on and be open about the fact that everything's really expensive. And if anyone has any tips on how to make your spending habits better, not even spending habits, like, someone tell me this, can I ring up my utility company and be like, listen, I'm not paying that much a month? But will they just tell me no? Can I ring my water company and say, I think you're doing me over? Like, the same with Wi-Fi. Like, if I got leverage with that, because my monthly bills are just ridiculous. Like, I'm literally looking now at considering about what to do about childcare, because childcare costs are also going to go up in April. I know, obviously, come October, we're going to get the 3 hours, but what the
This is the exact kind of financial pressure that a lot of people are facing. People don't talk about it. She's spending around £8,000 a month, and she's somehow making it work, and she's not really even sure how. And £8,000 is strikingly a lot of money. It's quite scary, actually, when things like that just spiral out of control slowly. I mean, she's sitting in front of her laptop trying to be organised, and that's actually quite a good thing. I think you should definitely try and budget and look at your spending, see where you can save cash. I think it's probably better that you track things on a weekly basis rather than a monthly basis, and just deal with the damage at the end of the month. If you look at it weekly, you can make better decisions and make adjustments in what you spend your money on. If any of this again sounds familiar to you, definitely drop a comment, and we can discuss it.
Can we please talk about the fact that you have to remortgage your house to buy a pack of mini eggs in Tesco's nowadays? £1.89 and you get approximately 6 in a packet. Do the maths on that one.
Someone tell me what in the name of the cost of living crisis is going on in this country, because I've just been food shopping. Nothing high end. Went to Aldi. Love a bit of Aldi. But please tell me why I've come out and felt like I've had my pants pulled right down, because I feel violated at the cost of my food shop. That's literally going to last me a week. 1 week. There's 5 of us, right? Technically, there's 4.5, because I've had a gastric band and my 7-year-old can eat more than I can. But why? Why are we paying things like, I don't know, £5 for a packet of sanitary towels? They're not even reusable. In the name of Gemma Collins? Nah. This ain't for me. Not for me.
Yeah, you know what? This one also hits hard. It's not even about shopping in high-end places like Marks and Spencer anymore. If you're just going to Aldi just to buy a few basics and walking out feeling robbed, that this lady has, just to feed 5 people is it's pretty daunting, really, isn't it? It's expensive shopping anywhere these days, by the sounds of it. I don't think it's poor planning on her behalf. It's just showing the brutal reality of how prices are right now. It's very expensive. Yeah, and I don't even think it's about budgeting anymore. It's just literally about survival with dignity. So I think she's right about that.
We are all aware of the fact that the cost of living in California is astronomically high. But for those of you who grocery shop on a weekly basis for a family of, say, like 3 to 4, what is your average grocery bill? Because for a family of 3, we are spending on average between $300 to $350 a week on groceries. That is over $1,200 a month we are spending on groceries. Granted, I do try to shop mostly organic. I buy whole foods. I try to go as unprocessed as possible. And my son and my boyfriend are human garbage disposals, so they eat a ton of food. But I still feel like that is so ridiculous. And I'm at the point where I'm wondering if it's even worth it to grocery shop, or would it be more cost effective to just eat out every day? That is a ridiculously high amount to pay on just groceries alone. And yes, it's mostly organic and whole foods, but we've been grocery shopping the same way for the past several months. And my grocery bill is getting higher and higher every month, and I'm always buying the same shit. So, yeah, I'm like, why am I spending all this money and time grocery shopping, cleaning up, cooking, when we can just treat ourselves every day? Am I right? Like, I love California though. I'm still not moving. I'm just saying.
I mean, she's looking at about $1,200 a month just at groceries alone. Just seems extortionate. You know, that's a lot of money. She's trying to eat clean. I mean, organic food isn't cheap, but you know, I can understand why she wants to eat healthy. Yeah, it's important. And I think she's only really joking about eating out, and how eating out could be just as expensive as how her groceries are, or even cheaper. But you know, it just shows how perhaps, you know, it is quite frustrating, isn't it, to spend all that money on food every month and not really get much for it. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've got plenty more content like this coming your way, so stay tuned. If you enjoy the video, please hit that like, go ahead and subscribe, and please support the channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video.